Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhav Krishnan. Viewers, it's game over for the Bishnoi gang's reign of terror. With the extradition of a key member of the gang from the United States, a big win for our investigative agencies, Anmol Bishnoi, the brother of jailed gangster Lawrence Bishnoi and among India's most wanted criminals, has been brought back to India. A fake passport using which he had gained entry into US has also been seized. He's a dreaded gangster, and Bishnoi is involved in 31 cases across Delhi, Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab. Anmol has been produced before Delhi's Patiala House Court, where NIA has sought his custody for 15 days.
India's most infamous gangster, Anmol Bishnoi, is being brought to the Patiala House Court by the National Investigation Agency. As you can see, Anmol is there along with officials, and Anmol is not replying to the questions set forth. This is very important because Anmol Bishnoi was the one who was involved in the killing of Baba Siddique. He was the one who was involved in firing outside Salman Khan's residence. Anmol Bishnoi being taken inside the court. Exclusive visuals for the viewers of Times Network.
Let's now take a look at some of the high-profile cases in which Bishnoi has been allegedly involved in. The first case is of May 2022. This is of Sidhu Moosewala's shooting. In fact, he was shot dead in that May 2022. And in fact, this is the person who provided logistics for that killing, is what we are told. In case 2, that is of April 2024, the shooting outside Salman's house. He is the one who claimed responsibility for that shooting. In the third case of October 2024, Baba Siddique's murder, he is believed to be the prime plotter of this murder as well. But besides Mumbai, Delhi and Haryana police, he was also on the NIA's wanted list. The anti-terror agency had announced a reward of 10 lakh rupees for information leading to his arrest. Here's what the NIA charge sheet said about the Bishnoi gang. Firstly, they said that Bishnoi gang mirrors Dawood's D company. Lawrence runs an organized terror syndicate in North India, further adding that he's involved in targeted killings and extortion. Lawrence Bishnoi started with petty crimes. They've also further added that on lines of Dawood, Lawrence created the Bishnoi gang. Anmol Bishnoi is believed to be a key member of this Bishnoi gang, and the fact that Bishnoi gang has over 700 associates or members makes it a very, very serious aspect of it. Like Dawood, Lawrence started assisting terrorists as well, is also something that agencies have observed. All right, we have big breaking news coming in. NIA is detailing the role of Anmol Bishnoi. He's the 19th member of the syndicate, and NIA has told the court that custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger scheme of things. They've also gone on to say that custodial interrogation is also needed to determine the source of funds, members, and how the syndicate operated. NIA has also told the court how Bishnoi's disclosures could lead to more people involved in the syndicate. Let's go across to my colleagues Bhavtosh Singh as well as Priyank Tripathi joining us on the show. Bhavtosh, coming to you first, very important that they interrogate this individual Anmol Bishnoi in custody, because his interrogation could not just lead to more people involved in it, it could unearth the larger scheme of things and thereby lead to more details coming out as far as the investigation is concerned. Bhavtosh.
Yes, Madhav, in fact, Lawrence Bishnoi gang is only getting bigger by the day, and the fact that he has been declared a foreign terrorist and his gang has been called a foreign terrorist organization by the Canada also means that India has to tell the world that they are going against these gangsters who have morphed into terrorists. And first big success has come after they have got Lawrence Bishnoi's younger brother deported here. There are a slew of cases filed against him from petty crimes to big murder cases, and the fact that the court is being informed about it. The NIA had filed a charge sheet against him, and there are several NBWs against him, as well as charge sheets have been filed against him. Once NIA custody gets over, it would be obvious that state police will ask for his custody. The prominent among them is the Mumbai crime branch that will seek his custody in the Baba Siddique murder case.
All right, and Priyank also with us. Priyank, you've been trailing him from the airport right till the Patiala House Court. What does it look like? In fact, you look at those images coming of Anmol Bishnoi. Does he seem to be stressed? Did he seem to be relaxed? Was he expressive at all in those images that we saw?
See, Madhav, he looks very relaxed and he's certainly not afraid about him being killed by the rival gang members. Because what sources have been suggesting since the time they have been rift in between Lawrence Bishnoi gang, he was certainly afraid that the rival gang members who have originated from the same Lawrence Bishnoi fraction could eliminate him. That is the biggest fear which was there in the mind of Anmol Bishnoi, because Rohit Godara had been given open threat to Anmol Bishnoi regarding him to be killed. At this moment, what we can break it for our viewers, that the order has been reserved by the National Investigation Agency had sought 15 days of time period. We have to understand he was the brain behind operation of Lawrence Bishnoi gang, and he knows every bit about the financial, the recruitment, as well as the funding pattern of this gang is concerned. There could be a major, breakthrough which can be achieved after his questioning, and the chain of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang can be only broken after his questioning, because since 2021, he was the one who was operating the gang on the behest of Lawrence.
All right, thanks so much for joining us, Priyank, as well as Bhavtosh, with those quick updates. Let's quickly take it across to our panelists. Now joining us with us is Krishna Hegde, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. We have with us Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer. We have Dr. Akashdeep Muni, political analyst. Joining us also with us is Chandrasekhar Jha, leader of Shiv Sena UBT. Anish Gawande is national spokesperson of the Shiv Sena SP. Let's come across to you first, Anish Gawande. The fact that Anmol Bishnoi is now back in India, the fact that he is within the custody of the NI and the NI is seeking his custody from a court, from Sidhu Moosewala to Baba Siddique. In all of these killings, he is believed to be somebody who's played a very important role. Finally, the fact that you're going to see him face justice, would you give credit to the central government for bringing him back?
To begin with, Madhav, I think this is a moment of reconciliation for Zishan Siddique and the family of Baba Siddique and that of Sidhu Moosewala, that finally Anmol Bishnoi is making his way back to India. Of course, credit has to be given where credit is due. We must give credit to the Mumbai police, to the central government, and to the NI for this extradition. But we must also ask, why is Zishan Akhtar, who recently confessed to this crime and said that I was one of the people involved, still free? What has taken this investigation so long? And what steps are going to be taken to ensure the Bishnoi gang, which seems to have infiltrated farther and deeper than we previously imagined, is stopped before it causes more harm?
Would you like to respond to that, Krishna Hegde? What about people such as Zishan Akhtar? When will they be brought to law?
The entire case, the investigation is going on. Whoever is guilty will be behind bars. But today is a day to appreciate the success of the Modi government, the Home Minister Amit Shah ji, the NIA and the other investigating agencies who have got Anmol Bishnoi back, extradited him, and today he is in the Patiala court where the NIA is seeking a 15-day custody. And therefore, I think whatever the cases he is involved in, whether it's the Baba Siddique case, the Moosewala case, the Salman Khan case, or any other case, let the investigative agencies probe him, investigate him, and I'm sure that soon the truth will be out on the table. And whatever action will be taken by the government and the law enforcing agencies.
Right. Akashdeep Muni, whether it's the case of Tahur Rana, whether it's the case of this individual concerned, the fact is there are offenders outside of India who bring them back is a hugely challenging issue when it comes to jurisdictions, different laws, so on and so forth. The fact that you're seeing Anmol Bishnoi back in India, do you think, would you give credit as far as the fact that he's going to face the law now in India, as far as the Indian judicial system is concerned?
See, Madhavji, Anmol Bishnoi's deportation is too little too late. Early 2022, Anmol flees India using a fake passport routing through Nepal, Dubai, Kenya before reaching the US. At this point, he was already implicated in multiple extortion rackets and cases. After his escape, May 2022, Anmol plans murdering Sidhu Moosewala, then he plans firing at Salman Khan, and then Baba Siddique happened. Anmol is finally detained in California in November 2024, not for Indian crimes, but for immigration violations after entering the US illegally. Today he is deported as a plan of a bulk flight carrying 200 Indians who were undocumented migrants. This was not because of diplomatic pressure. and Indian government was slow and weak despite NIA reward and an Interpol Red Corner notice in 2022. Proactive extradition requests to the US were filed in 2024. Detention, relying on American immigration enforcement rather than bilateral pressure. Had NIA acted in 2022, Moosewala and Siddique would have been alive today with us. Unfortunately, it is not happening. And today, people who are accolading Modi ji and Amit Shah ji, please ask why the request came on 2024.
How does
Krishna Hegde respond. Too little, too late, he says.
How does Akashdeep know that the NIA or the investigative agencies or the government agencies have not acted in 2022? Is he privy to that? He cannot say anything on national that they should have investigated and they did not investigate earlier. Obviously, there have been a follow-up on this case, and today it is the success of the government and the investigating agencies that he is deported back to India and he is under interrogation. So you have to commend the investigative agencies instead of pointing out lapses that in 2002 didn't happen. You are not privy to that information.
Okay, Akashdeep, how are you privy to this information? Are you so convinced that the government did nothing?
Domain, how they are tracking all the gangsters.
Okay, Madhav,
and there have been several gangsters who have been living who have been tracked down and brought down back to India.
Let Akashdeep respond since you've asked him the question.
Madhavji, I'll take just 10 seconds. Madhavji, it is in public documentation that the NIA filed extradition request to the US after the 2024 detention. He can go and check. This man flew in 2022. Why wait till 2 years? Why wait till Baba Siddique and Moosewala die? Tell. It is in public domain, sir.
Krishna, respond.
2 साल क्यों wait किया?
See, everyone knows what the Bishnoi gang has done. That is nothing new. The fact is that today he has been bought. His brother is also in jail. He is also going to be in jail, and the investigative agencies are working on it.
Right.
So you cannot say that the investigative agencies are not doing anything or the government is not doing anything. That is absolutely not true.
Sanjay Sai, I want you to come in on this. As a matter of procedure, as somebody who's
Pakistan or any of the gangsters.
Yeah, let me bring in Sanjay Sai. Sanjay Sai, the fact is that the person is now here on Indian soil, is going to face the Indian system. You have one of our panelists who says that perhaps you should have done more in 2022 from the moment where he fled rather than wait till 2024. How do you respond to him, Sanjay Sai?
There is nothing black and white the way we are discussing on the television. That this was done, this was not done. It is effort of the investigative agency from day one to try and get these people who turn out to be fugitives, who are able to escape, sometimes because of a very porous route, and land up in locations which you are all aware of. And there is no doubt about the fact that Anmol was caught because he did not have the travel documents and not because there was an extradition request at that particular point in time. Nonetheless, as things moved forward, the government of United States, they wanted all the documents and all the detail. And the government of India was able to provide all those details. As he was a part of that whole illegal immigrant group. So he came in that special chartered flight. Now coming to why it got delayed, why it did not get delayed. Extradition is not a very simple process, a complicated process. And the work of CBI, and there is a very clear-cut CBI, NIA, there is a clear-cut extradition cell which is operating right now, one of the leading agencies. There is no purpose in taking its name. And the things have been facilitated at the interagency level and also at the level of the diplomatic ties. Now we are seeing this number of extradition which is happening in reasonably smooth manner and not getting stuck up for long periods of time. That is certainly commendable. That does not mean there are lots of things not happening. It is extradition is a work in progress. It is a huge legal and a technical diplomatic expertise, inclusive of proving in a court of law there. Absolutely. We are having this Mehul Choksi affair where they want to know that in the Indian judicial system and in the Indian correctional reform system, that is our jails. It follows the international standard. So effort has been done also in that regard. Now that he is brought here, let's move a little further. Now that he is brought here and mostly he will get police custody for interrogation. I think there's a whole inner wheeling dealing which has been happening, inclusive of Government of Canada and variety of other people raising their fingers and putting their sort of a ban or against this particular gang. Now, it is very important. Now, even if you go by political analysis, Mr. Mooney, who says that this could have been averted. But the point is, henceforth, at least we'll have a better grip and a more control over these people.
So, let me bring in Chandrasekhar Jha. Chandrasekhar Jha, end of the day, extradition, bringing in any kind of fugitive from foreign territory, it is a challenging process. And the fact that you have several of these individuals coming back to India, credit has to be given. It is a work in progress. There are, of course, other cases pending. But the point is that it is a process that comes after a long series of events that take place. So credit has to be given there, is what our previous panelist said. Your response?
See, I should appreciate this government, what they have done. But eventually, also the government has to see the other fugitives who are in international boundaries. They should be also brought back, like the money laundering persons who have laundered money in India and they have siphoned the money to other international boundaries. They should be also brought back. But eventually, it is the political will which also has to take place and which has to decide.
Are you saying there is no political will?
See, in many cases there might be, and in many cases there will be. So, if you see the
which are the cases in which there is no political will? Please tell us. Whether it is Nirav Modi, whether it is Vijay Mallya, all these cases are being contested in courts of law, or even Mehul Choksi, which was just mentioned.
See, these cases are pending, starting from Lalit Modi and others. These cases are pending from long time. And if you have a political will, they should have been brought back into India.
Krishna Hegde, these cases are pending for a long time. If you had the political will, they would have been here in India by now, says Mr. Jha. Your response? Krishna Hegde, can you hear me?
No, Madhav, are you asking me?
Yes.
No. See,
Chandrasekhar Jha says there's no will. That's why several cases are pending. Your response?
Every other will. Therefore, gangsters like Ravi Pujari have been brought to India. Now, Anmol Bishnoi has been brought to India. There are several gangsters who are there in Malaysia and other places. They have been brought to India. And it is not a one-day process like our Sanjay Sahai ji said. It takes years and years, and it takes diplomatic, talks as well as political talks, and also coordination between the intelligence and other agencies. And therefore, whether it is Mehul Choksi, whether it is other people absconding because of financial transactions, I'm sure the law will catch up with them. There is no one will be spared. This is the new Bharat under Mr. Modi.
All right, respond to that. This is the new Bharat under Prime Minister Modi, Chandrasekhar Jha. There is enough effort going on, and all of these cases are pending in various courts of law. So it's not for lack of effort, it's just the legal process which Mr. Sahai was describing. Your response?
Legal processes may take time in international boundaries as well as in India, because if they are brought to India, they have to face the trial. It takes time in judicial. But eventually, everything requires political willpower, and if the exercise of political willpower is there, everybody will be brought back.
Where was the willpower lacking? Where did you see the willpower lacking? Was there any willpower lacking in the pursuit of those cases, in agencies not visiting the courts? Where is the willpower lacking? Tell us.
See, in many cases, the political willpower also is lacking, because when a concerned person is brought back into India, they are not having that diplomatic door to many of the countries which they are failing and not bringing those accused back.
Which countries, sir? So, give us the specific examples. Take the names. Which countries? Which individuals?
If you see the England, many have taken shelter, and it started from Nadeem Shravan and that time.
Sir, that is because of the law of the land there.
Yes, no, law of the land says so, but eventually there are certain kind of things which are happening because you require a diplomatic door with the concerned authorities there. But those things have not been opened up. So these things are required to take control.
Mr. Sahai, would you like to respond to that? Do we not have close enough diplomatic ties, or is it the system there? Would you like to respond to Mr. Jha?
I personally feel that we are making things very, very simplistic. It is a very complicated process, and it also depends on the legal process in that particular country and how much time does it take. When your extradition request or in the judicial process, if it is negated or it is told that sufficient evidence has not been provided and for that reason or the effort has not been made, that becomes a different story. As far as the delay is concerned, the judicial processes in different countries are different. That there can be a country who will say that your prison standards are not to the international standards and they will not be able to send the concerned person. I think we have worked on that itself. So there are issues where effort might be, we are not privy to those particular details in the public domain. So it becomes extremely difficult and one should not open our mouth saying whether it has been done completely or not done completely. But nonetheless, what we are seeing in last couple of years and wherever it has led to the fruition of the effort, at least those people have been extradited and at least in 2 cases, it is in process and it is in the courts of law. There are earlier ones, 1 or 2 cases which has been going on for a long time. There is no denying that fact also, whether it is because of technical evidence, because of the law of that land, because of the judicial process, might be the back-end diplomatic process. So it is a very complex game and every extradition is a case in itself. It cannot be that all extraditions are the same, all can be handled in a similar manner, all can be taken through the same process. Broadly, that generic stuff is there, but every individual case is a challenge in its own and you have to fight that battle, and once you are successful, you bring him back. Sometimes
Anish,
in 1 or 2
I want
years,
Anish to comment on this. Anish, because one has to be
years.
realistic. You know, today you have some opposition leaders saying, what about Dawood Ibrahim? I mean, it's not like Pakistan is going to cooperate. We saw what happened after 26/11. Do we realistically expect Pakistan to just come out one day and say, yeah, look here, here's Dawood Ibrahim? That's not going to happen. We all know what's been happening over the last several decades.
You know, Madhav, the unfortunate fact is that while every single opposition leader here today has congratulated the government on a successful extradition, that same courtesy is not extended by the BJP to governments that came before them. In the Tahavur Rana case, the government was quick to take credit for the extradition as a whole without paying any attention to the effort being put in by the previous government in filing all of that paperwork. Mr. Saha has said very rightly that every extradition is a long process, it's a complicated process. I think it has to be acknowledged on both sides. But the more fundamental question here is, how did this man leave the country? You know, the fact that he can go through Nepal, go through porous borders, make his way to the United States and then get caught there for entering illegally is a sign of our own porous borders as well. Nobody is denying that it's an extradition well done, but it cannot be a constant patting of oneself on the back. If people can leave the country so easily, including gangsters as dangerous as Anmol Bishnoi, which the government claims he is, if people like Mr. Akhtar, Zishan Akhtar can leave the country, then what does it mean for a government that keeps saying that we're stronger today and that our borders are more secure than ever before?
Okay, we'll have to leave it there for the moment. Krishna Hegde, Sanjay Sahai, Dr. Akashdeep Muni, Chandrasekhar Jha, as well as Anish Gawande. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Certainly, of course, one will have to see what happens as far as Anmol Bishnoi is concerned. Certainly, as far as those high-profile cases from Punjab to Mumbai, which everyone will be watching out very closely for as to what happens as far as Anmol Bishnoi and his future is concerned. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.